LeBron James responded to a tweet that said LeBron viewed Michael Jordan as a teammate instead of an adversary. LeBron replied that he never said that. He simply answered the question of whether he thought he could have been a teammate to complement Jordan's game. LeBron also said he would have wanted to compete against MJ every single day. He thanked him for being such an inspiration, a superhero. How about those emojis at the end? LeBron loves his emojis. Shannon, was LeBron's comment about wanting to play with Jordan unfairly taken out of context?
Of course it was. Skip, on Uninterrupted, Paul Rivera asked a question. Knowing what we know about Mike, his commitment to winning, his leadership style, would you have loved to play with Mike and be a teammate of Mike? That was the question. Man, I think my style would have blended perfectly. Mike being the killer assassin that he is, the scorer that he is, my ability to pass the ball like I can pass the ball, man, that thing would have been Scottie Pippen on steroids, Scottie Pippen 2.0. Now that's what he says. The media gets it. LeBron James says he views Michael as a teammate, not as an adversary. What the hell? Skip, and remember, people are, and LeBron is going to have to understand this. People are going to be quick because anything you say is going to get misconstrued. Skip, when I went to the Pro Bowl and I had Marino and I had Montana and I had Warren Moon. Skip, I was very conscious of what I was going to say when people asked me, reporters, I got back to Denver, what do you think about Marino's ability to throw the ball and Warren Moon and Jim Kelly? Oh, man, they're good. But, man, give me number 7. Because anytime if I would have heaped praise on those guys, are you saying they're better than 7? Are you saying that you'd rather play with them than Elway? So, Skip, I was always very mindful, very conscious of that. And so LeBron saying that, yes, I could have saw myself playing with him. They automatically assume, well, he's scared of Mike. He want to be Mike's teammate. He don't want to compete against Mike. All the greats, Skip, I mean, that's, Skip, the reason why they love the Dream Team so much. They believe they had the greatest collection of talent, and they got an opportunity to see what it would be like if they actually played together. That's what made it so fun. You had Barkley, you had Malone on the same side. You had Ewing, you had Robinson, and they were also playing with Jordan, Pippen, Magic, and Bird. Skip, that's what made it so unique. You got an opportunity to see. But now, but they're quick. Because now if you say LeBron views Mike as a teammate as opposed to an adversary, now you automatically put LeBron below Michael Jordan because he doesn't want to compete. And he never said that. LeBron has really gone out of his way to show great deference to the previous great, Skip. He's always praised Magic, Larry, Mike, Kareem, all the greats. He has no problem handing out bouquets, even to guys that he played with. Yeah, I want to play with Kawhi. Yeah, I want to play with AD. Ask me again. Do I want to play with AD? Yep. When I play with this guy? Yep. So he's always done that, but people take that by saying, yes, I would like to play with those guys, as he's afraid to play against those guys. And I believe this was a situation in which that happened. Yes, I could play with Mike. Oh, you don't want to play against him, huh?
Okay, before I answer everything you just stated, allow me to say, because I do know Brian Windhorst, whose tweet LeBron responded to, I was very surprised LeBron sort of slapped the wrist of Brian Windhorst. Brian has covered LeBron since he was in middle school. Again, Brian is a tremendous reporter, and he can be very objective about LeBron, but he also loves LeBron. And this came off as biting the hand that has always fed you, because Brian will be the first to step up and defend LeBron against Michael. Again, Brian Windhorst believes that LeBron is the greatest player ever. And he said that many times over the last 3-4 weeks on ESPN during The Last Dance. So it shocked me that all of a sudden LeBron would rise up and say, bam, to Windy, as we call him. You do that to him. Yeah. You'd slap him. Not only did you slap him on the wrist, you kind of just slapped him right across the face. No, you can't do that to me. Okay, now, to answer this question, to start with, Shannon Sharp, I'm going to use your favorite line against you. Two things can be true. Two things can be true. How many times have you said that? Okay, in this case, two things were true. Number one, you're right. when asked about playing against Michael Jordan, yes, LeBron said, oh, I would love to have played against him. And he went on and on. I'd love to have played against Magic and Bird and all the rest. You're right. I give you that.
Right.
But when he was handed the softball question of how would it have been, however you want to phrase it, to play with him, it was clear to me that LeBron has thought about what it would be like, because he went into a soliloquy about how great it would have been to play with him, because, as I told you yesterday, that's the first time I've completely agreed with what LeBron assessed, which was my game would have fit perfectly with his. He was an assassin. Yes, he was. Cold-blooded killer. Attack, score. And LeBron, obviously, his nature, he was born passing the basketball. He's still the best passer in basketball. His nature is to pass first, even though he's obviously one of the great all-time scorers of the basketball. He's an even better passer. So his nature would blend beautifully with Michael's, because he would want to facilitate and help Michael do what he does greatest. Okay? So he went on and on to the point that he brought up that Scottie Pippen was one of his favorite players growing up in Akron.
Right.
He saw himself as Scottie because Scottie was also a point forward, a 6'7" passer who could help facilitate number 23, the original 23.
Right.
So he identifies with Scottie, and then I told you about the quote in Rick Bucher's piece in Bleacher Report about where one of the unnamed executives had said, yeah, LeBron would have been Scottie on steroids. Well, he would have been.
Right.
He would have been the greatest Robin in the history of basketball. And to me, I told you yesterday, the mere fact that LeBron would acknowledge this and display a depth of passion, emotion, and sort of command of this topic that he had thought about it disqualifies him from the GOAT debate, because he's saying, yeah, that would have been great. Well, if we do the flip side, if we reverse roles here, there's no way Michael Jordan would ever acknowledge publicly or even privately that he would want to play with LeBron James. The truth was, Michael didn't want to play with anybody. He barely tolerated Scottie and Rodman and Kukoc and all the rest, those spare parts, Steve Kerr and Judd Buechler, all of them. He knew that the rules forced him to have four other guys on the court. I think he wanted to go out by himself. The one area I give Phil Jackson credit for was it was sort of like Gladys Knight and the Pips. It was basically Michael and the Pips, as in Pippen and the rest, until Phil finally got it through Michael's head. You have to utilize your teammates to win championships. It requires 5. You need little contributions from 4 other people to get you to the biggest prize, which is to be able to cradle that trophy and cry over it.
Larry
and
O'Brien,
he finally figured that out, the Larry O'Brien in 1991. So the point is that Michael, the only quotes I've ever seen from Michael Jeffrey Jordan about LeBron were in the 2015 ESPN The Magazine piece, in which he acknowledged that he was thinking about how to stop LeBron. He had watched him carefully via TV, and he had decided that when LeBron goes left, he likes to mostly pull up. When he goes right, he wants to freight train, and he's going to attack the basket more when he goes right. And Michael's saying he's so much bigger than I am, 6'6" versus 6'9", 215-ish versus 260, that Michael said, I can't let him get to the right hand, so I'm going to make him go left all night long. But it was all in the context of, that's how I'm going to shut him down. And obviously, Michael was a Defensive Player of the Year, first team all-defense 9 times. So that was 50% of his game was shutting you down, as well as shutting you up on the offensive end when he would just score on you like crazy. So to me, in the end, LeBron showed you who he was. He does have a lot of Robin in him. And I think if Michael had LeBron as a young player, yeah, LeBron would have deferred like crazy to Michael because he grew up idolizing him. So in the end, when we talk about killer will, psycho drive, it's who Jordan was that LeBron isn't quite. It doesn't mean that LeBron isn't one of the all-time greats, because he is. But when we talk about could you be his Robin, and LeBron says, absolutely, I would have been the greatest Robin ever, you're disqualified. You're showing us who you really are. You're not that guy. You're not the all-time alpha male that Michael Jordan was.
Skip, we got to be careful. Just because Michael Jordan wouldn't say something, that's not the end-all, be-all. After this documentary, well, if you don't ride your coworkers and try to be the best salesman, if you don't ride your coworkers and try to do this, well, you're not trying to win, because that's the way Michael did it. Skip, stop this. There's more than one way to win. Michael has convinced people that the only way to win is his way. Well, if you look at those Celtic teams in the 50s and 60s, they won 11, 10, 8. Nobody was like this. Okay, Magic didn't win 6, but he won 5. Kareem won 6 and got 6 MVPs. And he wasn't fighting and kicking everybody and trying to bully people. Skip, there's more than one way, and pardon me for saying this to skin a cat, that's just a phrase. I don't mean that literally. I mean that in a...
I don't even know what it means, you know what I'm saying,
Skip?
I get it. Yep.
Yeah. So this notion of that, well, Michael would have never done that. We got to stop that, Skip. Stop saying because he wouldn't do it, it was wrong for somebody